I feel my power. Alice, I think she was the brain of our double, that's for sure, and I was the power.
30,000 Filipinos, one small Austrian city, and a 20-year-old girl who has never played a professional clay court match at this level before.
No, I don't think that it makes it easier. Every single match is so tough. And
Alex Eala has arrived in Linz for the Upper Austria Ladies Open, her first ever WTA 500 event on clay. Even before she hits a single ball, the Philippine embassy in Austria has already begun mobilizing a massive support army. Trains from Vienna are expected to be packed, venues are bracing for huge crowds. A quiet European city is being transformed by the Filipino diaspora into something the tennis world has rarely witnessed. Meanwhile, the current world #1 has been playing in front of rows of empty seats in recent events. Alex Eala enters this tournament ranked no 45 inches the world. She comes here after a strong hard-court swing, reaching the round of 16 at both Indian Wells and Miami. Clay is completely new territory for her at the professional level, though she dominated the surface during her junior career. Just days before her debut, she posted an Instagram story from a Filipino grocery store in Linz. The caption read, "Ooh, Philippines," a joyful Tagalog expression of pleasant surprise. She called the store a hidden gem. That simple post revealed the bigger truth. Wherever Alex Eala goes, she carries a piece of home with her. And now, home is showing up in full force. The contrast could not be more striking. In one corner stands Aryna Sabalenka, 23 wins and just 1 loss, the most dominant start to a WTA season in 2026. She has won multiple titles, completed the Sunshine Double, and holds the world No.1 ranking with a massive gap. In the other corner are the images from Indian Wells in March, fan videos showing large sections of empty seats during Sabalenka's matches, along with widespread social media criticism about the poor attendance. Now in Linz, a WTA 500 event with a 30,000-seat center court, Sabalenka is not even in the draw. The top seeds are players like Mira, Andreeva, and others. Yet YouTube drama channels are buzzing with reports of Sabalenka's growing frustration and alleged panic. Sources claim she cannot understand why her complete dominance on the court is not translating into dominance in the stands. Because while Sabalenka has been winning matches, Alex Eala has been winning something far more valuable, the hearts of the fans.
Sandra is unbelievable, great for the Philippines, such an amazing player.
The tournament director saw this coming long before most people did. Sandra Reichel, a former professional player and current director of the Upper Austria Ladies Open, gave a clear interview to ABS-CBN Sports on April 5th. Her message was direct and powerful. It's great for the Philippines, for Filipinos, and for tennis fans to have such an amazing player. She went further, calling Alexandra Eala unbelievable, not just good, but unbelievable. Reichel confirmed that Alex Eala would play every single one of her matches on the main center court, not on outer courts or practice venues with temporary seating, but on the biggest stage with 3,000 seats reserved for her. She knows exactly what is about to happen. Reports from Filipino media outlets and social media describe an unprecedented mobilization across Austria. Around 30,000 Filipinos live in the country, with many based in Vienna, just a short train ride away from Linz. The Philippine embassy has publicly encouraged fans to attend and show their support. This is no longer just a tennis tournament. It has become a cultural celebration. Imagine being any other player in the draw. You expect a typical WTA 500 atmosphere, professional, respectful, with a few hundred dedicated fans spread across the week. Instead, you face a roaring wall of sound, thousands of voices, waving flags, and one name being chanted repeatedly, and that name is not yours. While this wave of pride and identity sweeps through Austria, the contrast with Sabalenka's recent experiences becomes impossible to ignore. Videos and reports from Indian Wells showed sparsely filled stands during her matches. Similar complaints surfaced about the Miami final. Though not officially confirmed by tournament organizers, the fan videos clearly showed large empty sections and low energy when the world #1 was playing. In Linz, the situation is completely reversed. Alex Eala, ranked 45th and playing her first clay event at this level, has been given the center court for all her matches. She is the one drawing fans from across the country and turning a quiet Austrian city into a must-visit destination. True fans of Eala saw this moment coming long before the tennis world noticed. They understood that filling seats is not only about win-loss records or rankings, it is about representing something bigger than yourself. That simple Instagram story from the Filipino grocery store with the joyful "Ooh, Philippines" caption captured it perfectly. She wasn't performing for the camera, she was simply being herself, finding joy and home in a foreign land and sharing it openly. When a player connects like this, when their success feels like a shared victory for an entire community, the response goes beyond applause. It becomes pure devotion. Sandra Reichel has spent decades in professional tennis as a player, organizer, and observer. When she calls Alex Eala unbelievable, she speaks from deep experience. She knows what separates a good player from a true phenomenon. Reichel didn't have to assign Eala the center court for every match. She could have followed the usual WTA 500 practice of keeping top seeds on the main stage in early rounds. But she made a different choice. She saw the growing fan demand, the embassy's involvement, and the buzz on social media. She realized Alex Eala is not just another player in the draw, she is the reason people are buying tickets. What is happening in Linz is a clear signal that the traditional WTA model promoting top-ranked players and assuming fans will follow rankings and Grand Slam champions is being challenged. A new force has emerged: cultural identity, diaspora pride, and the power of representation. Filipino communities exist in almost every major city worldwide. With over 100 million people in the Philippines and millions more in the diaspora across the Middle East, Europe, North America, and Asia, when one of their own steps onto the court, it becomes more than a match. It becomes a moment of pride and validation in a sport long dominated by European and American stars. Eala's upcoming schedule includes Stuttgart, Roland Garros, and every clay event leading into summer. If the Linz mobilization is any preview, tournament directors across Europe are about to experience what it means to host a player who brings an entire nation with her. Meanwhile, Sabalenka continues her dominant season. Her tennis remains outstanding, and her results speak for themselves. But if the attendance problems seen in Indian Wells and Miami continue, and fans keep choosing cultural connection over pure ranking dominance, the WTA may face a serious commercial challenge. Because the player winning trophies and the player filling stadiums are no longer guaranteed to be the same person. Eala is not flawless. Her Miami campaign showed the gap that still exists. After impressive wins over players like Louise Sampson and Magda Linette, she reached the round of 16 but was heavily defeated by Karolina Muchova, 0-6, 2-6. It was a clear reminder of the work still needed to bridge the distance between the top 50 and the top 10. Yet Eala did not dwell on the loss publicly. No emotional posts, no long explanations. She simply moved forward, prepared for clay, flew to Austria, found a Filipino store, and smiled. That quiet resilience speaks volumes. Sandra Reichel called her unbelievable. 30,000 Filipinos are mobilizing across Austria. The Philippine embassy is actively calling for support. A 20-year-old making her clay debut has been given center court over higher-ranked players. And somewhere, the current world #1 has been playing in front of half-empty stands. Alex Eala is not just progressing in tournaments, she is rewriting the economics of fan attention. She is proving that the era of the people's champion is no longer a theory, it is happening right now. The gap between ranking dominance and cultural dominance has never been wider. The fans who believed in her before the rankings caught up are being proven right. Not because she has won a Grand Slam or cracked the top 10, but because she made herself impossible to ignore by simply staying true to who she is. Is Eala's fan army the future of WTA attendance? Or will the top players eventually find a way to create the same level of cultural connection? Who will you show up for the next time you buy a ticket? If you've been following Alex Eala's journey and saw this moment coming before the tennis world did, you are part of a community that recognized true greatness early. Subscribe because this story is only just reaching the clay courts, and what happens at Roland Garros may make Linz look like a warm-up. Drop your prediction below. How far will she go in her first serious clay campaign at this level? The believers were right. The world is watching now.